Okay. Well, friends, very good afternoon to all of you. At the outset, I express my sincere thanks. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Sonia, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes.
Yes, sir. 20 वो कर दिया.
Thank you. At the outset, I am thankful to Dr. Rameshwar Singh
हाँ जी.
for taking this
सर एक
responsibility.
उनको और बोलिए वो हो जाएगा आप. जी.
Sonia, kindly mute yourself.
Oh yes, sir.
I request everyone to keep on mute. We can discuss later on. So, well, friends, very good afternoon to all of you. At the outset, my sincere thanks to Dr. Rameshwar Singh for sharing this responsibility to organize a seminar under umbrella of NATSI at Basu Patna. Thank you very much. And my all good friends, Dr. Chauhan, Dr. Rajput, I can see Dr. Prasad, Dr. J.K. Prasad and Dr. Ravi Prasad, Dr. T.K. Datta, and Dr. Prajapati, Dr. Dheer Singh, Dr. Mishra, Dr. D.K. Srivastava, everyone, means those who are attending, Dr. Ramesha. So thank you very much for coming in large number to attend this NATSI seminar. I think it is going to touch 100 participants. It is a very good number to attend any academy seminar or any academy discussion, brainstorming session. Program will be like this, friends, that I will be giving keynote address followed by panel discussion of the experts on their area, and then we will prepare a complete document, as Dr. Rameshwar Singh said, complete proceeding, that how we can go ahead for improvement and for improving the dairy in Eastern India for food and nutritional security. So my topic will be bearing in Eastern India stability and fragility. Just a minute. Yeah. Well, friends, it is a very sensible statement that dairy can improve the economy of the farmers of the Eastern region. The reason is that if we see the country, we are having around 147 million household, and animal husbandry and dairying is the primary source of about 100 million out of this 147 million household. If we see the 100 million, out of this 100 million, 70 millions are totally dependent on dairy and their livelihood. And out of this 70 million, 75% are small, marginal and landless milk producer with average herd size of 2 to 8 animals. This is the national average. In India, if you see, or in Eastern India, if you see, in Eastern India, we are having 4 states, as has been classified by Government of India. That is the Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, and West Bengal. In Eastern India, about 82% dairy farmers are marginal and small, are landless. So that is more, if we improve the dairy, I think it will be more applicable to the Eastern India. And in Eastern India, dairying is predominantly unorganized and is dependent on rural household in this part of the country. If we talk about the stability of the Indian dairy sector, which is applicable to stability in Eastern dairy sector also, it is the same. There is no doubt there is stability in dairy sector in India. Reason is that there has been a constant and sustainable growth despite very limited investment either from public sector or from private sector. And we all know that we are having the mega biodiversity, largest livestock population, highest milk production with high growth rate. I will talk all these things later on. Low production cost still in India. It is having low production cost. We are having buffalo, best germ plasm, that is the Murrah. And we know that many countries are demanding this Murrah germ plasm. And in Eastern India and in India in totality, all 3 production systems we are following. That is the zero input and low output, low input, moderate output, and intensive input and high output. But 70%, 72% of our dairy is going under low input and moderate output. And that is true. If in dairy sector is growing, that can be seen here also. That if we talk about the livestock output, that how much is coming from the livestock sector in totality, in total output from livestock sector, 67.22% comes only from the dairy sector, from the milk. 20.49 comes from the meat sector, and 3.1 from egg and others, means leather and all these things, that comes from 8.7. Very means pleasing data. If you see in 2017 and 18, the total value of output of livestock sector was this much amount at current price, and out of approximately, you can say, 67 to 68%, it came from the only milk sector, from the dairy sectors. So that is the one thing. Well, friends, coming to the specifically to the eastern region, first we will see that what is the genetic resource in eastern India, genetic resource. For example, if I take the Bihar, 7.98% of the total crossbred cattle in India are in Bihar. 7.95% of total indigenous cattle of India are in Bihar. Similarly, 7.9% total cattle are in Bihar. 7.03% of total Indian buffalo are in Bihar. Similar picture, if you see in the Jharkhand, Odisha, West Bengal, I will not read the data, but I prepared very good documents, because we will put this presentation on NATSI website also, so that anybody can get all the exact in data, current exact, means recent data of this. So this is the total animal genetic resources, which includes not only cow, but all the, means male, calves and all these things. So similarly, it is in Jharkhand, in Odisha, in West Bengal, we are having these genetic resources. Coming to the milch animal of total eastern region. Now, this figure gives a lot of discussion. For example, if we see in India, I have compared with the India. In India, 47% are indigenous, and 36% are buffalo, and 17% are crossbred. But if you see the eastern India, 70% of total milch animal population belongs to indigenous, and majority of this group are still nondescript, not classified as a breed. 15% are buffalo in eastern India, and 15% are crossbred. So this is the one reason that majority of the milch animal in eastern India, that is about 70%, are indigenous, maybe breed or maybe nondescript, very low producing and very less productive animal we can see. Otherwise, 15% of crossbred, 15% of buffalo, that can be fully explored for their potential. Second point is, eastern region is tropically, it is a very good for buffalo. But if we see the buffalo population as compared to 36% in India of total milch animal, in eastern India it is only 15% of the total buffalo population. This is the split up of the Bihar, Odisha, Jharkhand and West Bengal. First figure is of the Bihar of India, and then Bihar is okay. But see the other three states, 49% in Bihar and 47% in India, almost same. So Bihar is a success story. Bihar we keep as a success story in the dairy sector. But see the other state, that is the Jharkhand, Odisha and West Bengal, means 80%, 84% animals are of nondescript or of indigenous nature. That is of the indigenous nature or of the nondescript. So that is the one issue that we will like to address, that these three states, Odisha, Jharkhand and West Bengal, still have 80 to 84% of indigenous. Majority of these indigenous are of nondescript in nature. However, that has been seen if we compare the crossbred population between 2012 and 2019 in all four states, Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, West Bengal, in all four states, the crossbred population has increased, barring Bihar. Bihar little bit declined. I don't know that how it happens, that it was 28.4% in 2012, total crossbred population. However, in 2019, it has come to 26.6%. But see the picture of Jharkhand, Odisha, West Bengal, it is increasing slightly. And in average Eastern India, certainly from 16% to 17.4%. And similar picture we get in India also, that this crossbred population is increasing. And in India, it has increased from 20.8 to 26.5%. So two issues, friends, we say that except Bihar, in Jharkhand, West Bengal and Odisha, the majority of the milk animal belongs to the indigenous, are not upgraded, and majority of these indigenous are non-descript animals. Buffalo, for which this is Eastern India, may be a good place. Their population is very less as compared to average India milk animal population. This diagram, is very popular. This diagram, this says the success of the Indian dairy sector. The largest milk producing country in the world, we are producing around 21% of the world milk. In 2018 and 19, the growth rate was 6.5%. And Niti Aayog says that by 2030-34, country's milk production will be touching to 330 million tons. So, means after 13-14 years, our production will cross 330 million ton of the total milk production. Otherwise, this is the success story. Today, we are producing 187.7 million ton of the milk in 2018 and 19, and we are at number 1. There are few points, which says that there was glorious journey of dairy sector. If we see few points, India contributes almost 50% of the total global growth in milk production. In the last 5 decades, or in less than 5 decades, Indian dairy sector grew 8-fold. That is very admiring. India had more milk in global pool than entire European countries, more than entire European countries. If we compare from 1970 to 2020, then in early 1970s, India's milk production was 1/3 of the US and 1/8 of the European countries. And today, it is twice of the US and 25% more than EU. That is the glorious journey of the dairy sector. In 2019 and 20, the milk only, the milk produced worth 8 lakhs crore, and which was only 6.6 lakh crores in 2018 and 19. So in 1 year, there was jump of output of the milk from 6.6 lakh crores to 8 lakhs crore. The last point, means most important, I always emphasize, but now it has been written in the Niti Aayog report. That's why I have kept in the box. And it is said that the value of only milk, not all livestock, the value of only milk is more than the total value of all grains, wheat, rice, all pulses put together. And this data is of 2019 and 20. So what in the beginning, Dr. D.K. Srivastava was saying that dairy sector has played major role, especially in Eastern India. This statement verify his saying in this way. Friends, again, means today white revolution contribution surpassed the green revolution. It is established by everyone. Every 5th rupees generated in farm sector comes from the milk. So every 5th rupees we are generating in the total farm sector. And because of this, now if you see the report of Niti Aayog, Government of India has identified the dairy sector which can provide the livelihood to the millions of the farmers. So that is a very satisfying that now Government of India, Niti Aayog has said that dairy sector can be identified, and it can provide livelihood to millions of the farmers. Reason is that Dr. D.K. Srivastava will agree with me that if we collect 1 lakh liter milk per day, so collection of 1 lakh liter per day from producer and supply to the consumers, during this process, we are providing employment and income to 6,000 householders. Out of that, 5,000 are farmers who are delivering about average 20 liter of the milk, and 1,000 engaged in processing, transporting, and distributing. So 1 lakh liter collection of the milk is straightway providing job opportunity to at least 1,000 who are not farmers, who are not having animal, but they are engaged in the transportation, processing, and distributing. Friends, we all appreciate our cooperatives and all these things, because during lockdown, we will see that unlike most other items, especially food items, both producers and consumers' prices of the milk and its product remained stable. And this situation was observed despite a significant fall in demand, and which was very sharp in the beginning of the means lockdown. So all credit goes to the cooperatives, dairy cooperatives of this country. Now, hurriedly, we will go this four diagram that where these four states, eastern state, means stands. If we see the Bihar, Bihar started the journey with 2.5 million ton of the milk in 2001, and now it is 9.82 million ton of the milk. That is a good success story. The jumping 4 times from 2.5 to 10 million ton in 20 years, 4 times jump in milk production by Bihar. So Bihar is home of approximately 7.6% of the total cattle and buffalo of India, and producing 5.23% of the milk. Very, not very bad. It is very encouraging that 7.6% population, 5.23% on one hand, it is encouraging, satisfying. But on the other hand, we will see that what are the other opportunity where we can enhance. We are at 9th position in the country as far as milk production in Bihar is concerned, and per capita milk availability is 251 gram as compared to the national average 394 gram. But 251 gram is more than sufficient, because Medical Council of India says that Indians should consume 223 gram of the milk per day, keeping in view our diet requirement and our food habit and all this. Jharkhand started from 1.55 million ton in 2010, and it is 2.18 million ton in 2018 and 19. So Jharkhand, which is having 4.14% of total cattle and buffalo of India, is producing 1.16% of the total milk, not corresponding. The total milk contribution in national pool does not correspond to the total population in the state. Jharkhand is at 17th position in the country in milk production, and I understand Jharkhand dairy very well because once I was observer of the dairy development of the Jharkhand state by the Planning Commission, and I visited a lot of rural area villages in Jharkhand, and I have experienced with their production system. I will talk later. Per capita milk availability less than minimum recommendation of Medical Council of India, that is only 177 gram. Odisha, if we see, 1.67 million ton 10 years before in 2010 and 11, and now it is 2.3 million ton. So Odisha has 3.42% of the total cattle and buffalo and contribute only 1.23% in national milk pool. Per capita availability is again less than the Medical Council of India recommendation. West Bengal, 10 years before it was 4.47, and after 10 years it is a marginal increase of approximately 1 million ton, that is the 5.61 million ton. So West Bengal have 6.5% of the total cattle and buffalo population, contribute 3% only, 12th position in the milk production in the country, and again per capita milk availability is less than the Medical Council of India recommendation. If we see all the 4 states at one average, then 21.67% of cattle and buffalo population are producing 10.67% of the total milk in the national pool. And if we exclude the Bihar, then position is again worsened for the 3 states, that is the Jharkhand, Odisha, and West Bengal. This is the situation of the Eastern India as far as their product, as far as their total number is concerned in animals, and as far as their contribution in the milk production is concerned. This slide shows, I said that I have compiled very nicely at one place so that it is on the website and anyone can see later on also. This is the per capita milk availability. And I have compared from 2013-14 to 2018-19. In India, it was 307 gram per person per day in 13-14. In 18, it is 394 gram. And now we can say very good data for the Bihar. It has jumped from 195 to 251, about 56 gram per person per day jump. It is very appreciable. Jharkhand, Odisha, West Bengal, marginal increase because there was marginal growth in the milk production. Then, which animal contributes more? Contribution of different dairy animals to total milk production of 2018 and 19. India and Eastern India, if we see, Buffalo is contributing 49% in India. However, it is only 24% in Eastern India. This point has to be elaborated and has to be discussed at every platform, that why not to take the buffalo in Eastern India and enhance the milk production. 21% of indigenous contribution at national level, but 40% in Eastern India. But this contribution of indigenous animal does not match with their population. Population of indigenous animal is very high, but it is very low. But as far as their contribution is concerned, it does not match with their population. Now, challenges in the dairy sector, means few points if I say, then first issue is the low productivity and high population. In India, the productivity is 1/8 of the global average, and in Eastern India, it is further low, which I will show that in Eastern India, how it is low. Then there is a shortage of feed and fodder because there is a continuous reduction in area under fodder production, and we do not see that we will get any additional hectare of land for fodder production. In Eastern India, it is more problematic because, as in the opening remarks, Dr. Rameshwar Singh said that there are many districts of Bihar under flood. So in Eastern India, most part are drought-prone region. Either it is a Jharkhand or it is a Odisha. It is a drought-prone region or flood-prone region. So again, there is a big problem to meet the gap between demand and availability of feed and fodder. Late sexual maturity of the dairy animals, large number of milch animal breedable but not calf. This point I will show, and I will show that how Eastern India is working. There is a long gap between conception and calving. There is a long gap between two calving. There is a gap between demand and availability of the, especially in Eastern India. In Eastern India, indiscriminate breeding under field condition. If we take the Jharkhand and Odisha especially, complete indiscriminate breeding and almost untrained and are poorly trained majority of the AI technician. This I have observed, especially in Jharkhand, that means technician. I have seen a technician in Jharkhand, AI technician, carrying the frozen semen in their pocket and moving on cycle and carrying the frozen semen straw in their pocket. For Eastern India, means especially inadequate cold chain facility. There has been an increase in the Bihar in processing in cold chain facility, but in totality, there is inadequate cold chain facility in Eastern India. There is a low processing and very high unorganized marketing. And at present, what plants are in dairy sector in Eastern India, most of the plants are very old and it requires modernization. And these old plants are not energy efficient. So this is the very important point. Through means when we were preparing a manuscript, through survey of the all milk processors, we got this information that how old their plants are and how energy efficient their plants are. So this statement is on the survey that they are very old and they are not energy efficient. We have very little control over quality in production system. When it comes in the plant, then it's everything is okay. But in the production system, there are very little control. Very slow diffusion or no diffusion or not at all diffusion of new technology. There is no extension program in animal husbandry at all. And if it is a existing in animal husbandry, then again, it's only 30% for the dairy sector. So Rameshwar Singh also said, and it has been approved also by different committees of the extension, and said that there is a very poor or no extension in animal husbandry in general and in dairy sector in totality. Maybe in poultry sector, it is somehow it is poultry sector, it is workable, but not in animal husbandry sector. There is a poor linkages between dairy farmers and academic and research institutions. I have worked in PA Ludhiana for a very long time, and there I have seen that the farmers they are so frequently visiting the institutions, and the institutions, university scientists are visiting the villages. They are so very close bondage between farmers and academic institutions that is lacking in Eastern India, and there is a need of such linkages. And if it is existing somewhere, it has to be strengthened. Now, this is the productivity per animal productivity, and this I want to show that how per animal productivity in India is low as compared to the in Eastern India is low as compared to the India average. It is the average of India. If we take the Haryana and Punjab, then it will be further manifold low. For example, if we see in crossbred cattle, India versus Eastern India, red one is in the India and blue one is in the Eastern India in 2018 and 19, as compared to 8 kg per animal per day, it is only 6.7 kg per animal per day in case of crossbred. Similarly, in indigenous cattle, as I showed that Eastern India is having a large population of indigenous cattle, but their productivity as compared to average India productivity of 3, it is only 2.3 kg per animal per day. And similar picture we will get in buffalo also. It was always low. In India, it is 5.6 kg per animal per day, and in eastern part of the country in 2018 and 19, it is only 4.1 kg per animal per day. And it is not only in 2018 and 19, especially if we see the picture from 2015 and 16 onwards. So here I will like to say that what happened, up to 2014 and 15, it was not bad as compared to average of India buffalo productivity. But what happened, means after 2014 and 15, that per animal buffalo productivity has decreased in eastern part of the country as compared to the India. Other challenges, friends. This I want to give number one challenge, that farmers are not able to detect the heat. So our challenge is that how to train the farmers or how to train the animal attendant so that they can detect the heat in time and we can inseminate. This we have calculated that if farmer is missing one heat, then it will delay the calving of at least 21 days, and then it will be a loss of at least 21 days of the milk. So I have calculated that if animal is producing very moderate milk 5 kg, so it comes to the 105 liter of 21 days. And if we are taking the 38, 39 or 40 rupees per kg, then there will be loss of 4,305. And then if we add the cost of maintenance for 21 days as a very meager amount of the 90 rupees per day, then it will be 1,890. So in any case, if we add these two, then there is a loss of farmers to 6,195 rupees per animal if he misses one heat. So unfortunately, if he's having 4 animals and missing one heat, in all 4 animals, then we can imagine that in 21 days, how much money farmer is going to lose. So this is the one of the biggest challenge in under field condition, that how to detect the stress or how to detect the heat in animals at farmers' door. Farmers, another issue is that there is no proper care of the transition period. And if we are not taking the proper care of the transition period, in addition to these 4 diseases, which is enlisted below this photo, means the calf production and reproduction will also be affected. We all know. And this transition period is 3 weeks before the parturition and 3 weeks after the parturition. So this 6 weeks is most important period in the life of any milk animal, in the life of any lactating animals. So this issues has to be taken on priority to the farmers or to the veterinary doctors or to the animal attendant, that this 6 weeks is most important, and animals should be given proper care, proper maintenance, proper feed fodder, and proper health care. If we are not keeping all these things, then all these diseases, there may be uterine delayed in uterine involution, there may be another stress, then there may be uterine infection, conception failure, retention of placenta, or many metabolic diseases, ketosis, acidosis, and milk fever. All these we may face. So this is one of the bigger challenge. Here, that I always emphasize that there are females, breedable females, but they have never calved. in Bihar, in Odisha, in Rajasthan, in West Bengal and Jharkhand, this parameter is not bad. In eastern part is not bad as compared to the national average. This green one is the national average, and the value in parameters in average of India. For example, if we see the crossbred, in India, 7.8% crossbred females are breedable, but they have never calved. In Eastern India, 7.63 breedable crossbred never calved. Although 22.9% what I am showing, that is the total breedable population of 4 states. So we can say that in 4 states, Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, and West Bengal, 22.9% of the total breedable cattle, cow, they have never calved. Similarly, in indigenous cattle, 30.37% of the total breedable indigenous cattle, they have never calved. In buffalo, 25.69% of the total 4 states. But if we see the average as we have calculated for the India, not bad. National average is 7.8% for crossbred and 7.63 for cattle. Indigenous, it is 10.7 for national average and 10.12 for 4 state average. For buffalo, it is little bit higher, 7.7 and 8.56. But that may be one of the reasons for low productivity of buffalo, which I had shown, means in the previous slide. That may be one of the reasons. Means when I was reviewing the challenges in Eastern India as far as the dairy is concerned, I found that one of the biggest challenges is the delay in commencement of the projects. One example, several examples I have, but I have given one example which is very high profile example. The dairy projects which was inaugurated by Honorable President of India, Sri Ram Nath Kovind ji, which was launched in 2017 when he attended the Statehood Day event on November 15, 2017. So President attended the Statehood Day event on November 15, 2017, and he laid the foundation stone of 2 dairy plants worth 18 crores, and these are the villages, Giridih and Baliguma near Jamshedpur in 2017. But both projects have still not made the transition from files to brickwork. This is the biggest challenge which I found in eastern part of the country, especially in Jharkhand. But if as far as processing cooperative is concerned, friends, there is a welcoming step in the trends of processing of the milk. We all know that today, as on today in 2020, 48% of the milk produced is consumed by the producers and 52% is surplus and marketed. In 2016 and 17, the position was that cooperative was handling 16% of the total surplus, and private sector was 15% of 52 surplus. So this was the picture that out of 50%, 16% was being handled by cooperatives and 14% by other private sector and rest by unorganized sector. But now in 2019 and 20, of total surplus, 20% is being processed by cooperative and 30% by branded private dairy company and rest by unorganized sector. This is the data of 2019 and 20. So this is a welcome change in the trend of processing. But our dream is that each and every liter of the surplus milk must be lifted from the farmer's door, and it should come in the supply chain, it should come in the market chain. And this growth we get despite knowing the fact that the processing capacity is highly skewed with Gujarat, and Gujarat alone is accounting 46% of the total milk processing. So this is the issue, that enhancing the processing capacity in Eastern India will be another point which we will see. Milk, now these few points came, and Dr. D.K. Srivastava and Dr. Thakur and everyone doing this problem. At present, Cooperative Milk Union, means they are holding 170,000 tons of the SMP, which is 62% more than the same period of the last year, and 104,000 tons of the butter, which is about 41% more than the last year, and 22,000 tons of the ghee, which is about 47% more than the last. So now milk cooperative societies are approaching the government. They have already approached the government. They have written the letter to the government of India to clear the storeroom. To clear this huge stock, cooperative is asking incentive for export. Either they should get the incentive to export, or this government of India should start a scheme so that milk can be distributed, milk and milk products can be distributed through Anganwadi, in a school, in hospital, and etc. Cooperative did good job during lockdown. Cooperative kept same procurement price despite a sharp drop in demand. Now, this is the most important thing, that the procurement price did not decrease despite the drop in demand. Not only that, to help the farmers, cooperative also entered in area where private sector were engaged, but they were not collecting the milk during lockdown because they were the private sector. Now, this blue box says that cooperative says that if support is not being made available, or unless this store is liquidated or cleared, they will cut down the milk procurement price in coming flush season. And now this flush season is already in August, September is already there, because there will be parturition in buffalo and flush season will be seen. So this is the one issue, friends, bigger challenge in dairy sector, and that is the true for eastern part of the country also, that cooperative is having a huge amount of the SMP, fat, ghee, and all these things. It has to be cleared by giving an incentive to the export, or by preparing a scheme for distribution of this surplus through Anganwadi, school, and hospital, etc. It requires, no doubt, milk cooperatives inventories requires immediate attention. Their store has to be cleared. And this store came because in 2018-19 BC, if we see, then the milk collection by cooperative was more than 7 point, growth was more than 7%, and during lockdown, the daily sale dropped by 9%. So on one side, there was a growth in milk collection by cooperative, and on the other side, the demand was dropped during lockdown, and that's why there was a huge storage, huge inventories in cooperatives. And now in India, again, as I said, that milk glut likely to deepen further. From this month onwards, calving in buffalo will start, which will lead enhanced milk production, and that will be the flush period. So we have to think seriously, and this point has been raised at several platforms by many policymakers, that how to handle this one. And that's why we push that to push up the export. Let us bring the day milk and milk products under an ongoing new project of India, that is the Transport and Marketing Assistance Scheme for agricultural products. So we know that this scheme has been launched for agricultural products, that is the Transport and Marketing Assistance Scheme. And we recommend that dairy and dairy products should come under this scheme, so cooperatives inventories are cleared. If we see Eastern India specifically, what are the challenges in Eastern India, or what are the opportunity in Eastern India? Friends, role and scope of buffalo are not fully explored. This is one of the opportunity which we can say in future, that if we are exploring the full potential of the buffalo in milk production in eastern part of the country, I think it will be a good initiative for the dairy sector in eastern part of the country. So, exploring the full potential of the buffalo in eastern India. In India, there is a large number of consumers, and there are two major drivers for increasing the demand of the dairy products. Number one is the increased income and increased urbanization in eastern part of the country. So these are the opportunity that buffalo may be your future roadmap. There are large number of the consumers in eastern part of the country. So we can say that there is a big market of value-added dairy products, especially in the urban and peri-urban region. Not only that, let us make the milk as a regular part of the midday meal program. As such, it is not only helping the producers, but also bringing the nutritional security to the eastern part of the country. And if we see the data, I'm not presenting the data, but the eastern part of the country, Jharkhand, Bengal, and Odisha are having the maximum problem of the nutritional security, maximum number of underweight children, maximum number of means all problem, all parameters of undernutrition, whatever you see, you will find in these three states. Another opportunity that there is not shortage of the labor, there is not shortage of the technical manpower. All four universities is having either veterinary university, animal science university, dairy science college, are integrated with the agriculture university. Barring Odisha, all three states are having technical veterinary college and all these things. So there is not shortage of the manpower. And more important one is that this eastern part of the country may initiate to form a dairy grid, because this state, if dairy grid is formed in Patna or in anywhere in the Bihar and Jharkhand, then it can serve the international consumer also, because they are having big border of the many international eastern part of the world, where there is a shortage of the milk and per capita availability of milk is very low. So friends, let us make that crisis also presents opportunity for reforms. As crisis, we are using this opportunity. We are meeting very frequently through webinar. I found myself that from Monday to Friday we are doing interview and all these things, and then Saturday and Sunday we are engaged in the webinar. In the same way, everyone is busy. So in the same way, could dairy sector patronize the migrant workers who are not?
No sound.
सर का डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया एक्चुअली।
नहीं जी, क्या हुआ है? अच्छा,
डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया सर, उनका कुछ नेटवर्क इशू होगा। मैं फिर उनको
since somehow his link is lost.
ओह, मैं उनको फिर भेज देती हूँ सर।
हाँ, दोबारा एक बार करके देख लीजिए
जी।
डॉक्टर साहब से बात हुई है, वो रिकनेक्ट कर रहे हैं अभी
जी।
उनका नेट। हाँ
जी। या सर आ गए।
Yes sir, it is fine now.
Okay, can you hear me now?
You
Yes.
can resume, sir. You can resume.
Yeah, right. So now this why I was saying that crisis also present opportunity for the reforms. As I said that because of the pandemic of COVID-19, we use this crisis and we are very frequently meeting through seminar. In the same way, could dairy sector patronize the migrant worker of these migrant worker of these states who are not planning to return?
नहीं आ रहा होगा ना?
Is further
अरे नेटवर्क नहीं आ रहा, बाहर गए हैं।
या नहीं रहा है, नहीं आगे नहीं।
सर ठीक आ रहा है आपका तो किसी
ठीक आ रहा है ना?
सर आपका ठीक आ रहा है सर।
Right, okay.
आपका ठीक आ रहा है सर।
Okay, thank you.
It's coming well. Okay, welcome.
So now friends, we can say that in Eastern India, it is a time to grab the opportunity. And these are the few opportunity. We know that in this period of the COVID pandemic, Government of India has announced and approved also a 15,000 crores for establishment of the supply chain and dairy plants. And this will support to build around 4 to 5 crores liter of extra processing plant. And this present capacity will jump from 12,000 lakhs liter per day to 1700 liter per day. So can Eastern India grab the opportunity of this fund of Government of India and build dairy plants, build supply chain, establish the supply chain? This is the one. And we know that this, if it is happening, then collection and processing of this extra 5 crores liter of the milk will provide livelihood, job and income to approximately 30 lakhs people in rural India. And out of that, 25 lakhs will be the farmers and 5 lakhs will be who are engaged in the collection, transportation and distribution and all those things. So this will help the people who migrated from city to village. And such a scheme could ideally be implemented in Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha and West Bengal. I will request, in Bihar, because policy implementation is taking place. So please take this initiative, Dr. Srivastava and Dr. Thakur, and let us see that we can grab maximum opportunity from this 15,000 crores rupees. Another opportunity which Government of India gave, that recent measures what Government of India given, extension of the Kisan credit card facility to the dairy producers. And if it is extended, then we will treat the milk as an agricultural crops. And because of this, landless farmer will be benefited, those who are owning only milch animal. Dr. Rameswar Singh and many people will remember that we are raising this point from the very beginning, that let the dairy farmers be treated as a crop farmers, as a agriculturalist. And now Government of India, that if a farmer is having 4 animal landless, then he will get all the benefits, all the incentive equivalent to the rice grower. If he is going to take the loan from the bank, need not to keep the land, they will not ask for the guarantee of the land or everything. So that is the one thing. And second, have given the incentive of 2% to the dairy cooperatives and an additional 2% if the loan is repayment promptly. So these are some opportunity which dairy sector has been given. My concern, my only request is that let this opportunity be grabbed by the eastern part of the country. This is a time to grab the further opportunity. We know that, Government of India has given 1,334 crores rupees to start a national scheme of disease control programs to eradicate the FMD and brucellosis. And we know that this FMD and brucellosis is causing the loss of 10% of the total milk, which is accounting about 80,000 crore rupees. So let us grab this opportunity that each and every government hospital in Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha should be equipped for vaccination of the FMD and brucellosis. However, I have especially advocated to the Government of India that let us include the mastitis also, because these 3 diseases, FMD, brucellosis and mastitis, are really catastrophic to the dairy sector. So we recommend that yes, mastitis should also be included along with brucellosis and FMD in the control of these diseases program. Another opportunity, I have given the example, production of energy and fertilizer from the dairy sector is very good example, very good opportunity. This example is Dr. Thakur from your state, from a state called as Jakriyapura. It is a village in Gujarat. What is happening that dairy farmers who are supplying the milk to the milk union, they have installed their own individual biogas plant. And they are converting the dung into gas, and 10 to 10 kg of dung per animal they are converting into biogas and slurry. So biogas have substituted the cooking gas and all these things, and slurry is being sent to a common place. There is a common place, and this slurry is being converted into organic fertilizer. By involving this one, it was calculated that in addition to the milk sale and all these things, additional income, annual income per animal is approximately 36,000 to 40,000. So now we can see that this is the biggest opportunity that the farmers having 4 animals, 5 animals, we should also go for means establishing, for installing the biogas plant, and that will increase the income to the farmers. Friends, these were the challenges and opportunity of the eastern sector, but good thing is that if we see the annual growth rate of 2018 and 19 and cumulative annual growth rate of 5 years in the dairy sector in eastern India, then we can say that although the contribution in national milk pool was low, but the growth rate in 2018 and 19 is overwhelming. Now you can see that annual growth rate, if we see in all India, it is 6.5%, and in Odisha it is 10.7%, Jharkhand 8.3%, Bihar 6.2%, West Bengal 4.4%. So they are growing, but only concern is that it should be sustainable. Bihar has shown that it is sustainable for several years. It is in the range of 5 to 6% and corresponding well with the national average. My concern with the Jharkhand and Odisha, which has shown a very good growth rate in 2018 and 19, it should be sustainable for future also. On the right side, it is a cumulative annual growth rate in the last 5 years. Leaving West Bengal, I think in all 3 states, Jharkhand, Odisha, it was means little better, but Bihar, it was the best cumulative annual growth, and it was means equal or little bit higher than all India average. So this is the one good opportunity, that growing concern is it should be sustainable. That is the main concern. Everyone talks about the equity. Everyone talks about the equitable growth, and we found that small dairy farms, that is the best for equitable future of eastern India. Promoting small dairy, it will lead the more equitable income to these aspects, and this has to be appreciated. Example I have given that milk animal holding is more equitable than land holding, and example is that in eastern part of the India, in 4 states, 85% of the total farmers are small and marginal, while they together own only 47% of the farmland, but they own 75% of the milk animal. So it is more equitable. 85% population holding 75% of the milk animal is more equitable. We have to give full opportunity for the development of the small dairy sector in this part of the country, so that there is equitable growth, there is equitable future of eastern India. Another point, we know that land price is very high. It is going in increasing year by year in whole country and in eastern India also. So running a large dairy farm will not be viable. So dairy farming in India will continue to be dominated by small and marginal farmers. Let it be in the a very bold letter that it is the only small and marginal farmer who carry the dairy sector. 2-3 more slides. If it is a small farmer's business, then friends, certainly, as I said that there is no control over production quality for production system. While producing the milk, there is no control on the quality. So then these are the 2 models of southern part of the country. Let us implement, let us bring this model to the eastern part of the country for clean milk production. For example, one is the machine is mounted on the motorbike. A man is going with the bicycle and scooter and all these things, having the machine and moving from one farm to another farm, and by machine milking, he's milking at different farms, and it is very suitable for a cluster of farmers of 1 to 3 animals. Second issue is that farmers bring their dairy herds to a center and milk the cow by machine. So this is the second option. The milk is directly cooled and stored to the center, and this is the Kolar model. It is introduced first time in the Kolar district of the Karnataka in 2010, and it is first of its kind and working very well. What I want to say that when we say that there is no control on the quality of the milk in production system, then there are options, there are technology which can be put to bring the quality control in production system. And these are the example of two machine for producing the clean milk. After discussing all these things, friends, if we say that, if we want to summarize, then we can say that, yes, not only green revolution, white revolution also come from east part of the country only. Future growth in Indian dairying must come from the eastern India and these 4 states, Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha and West Bengal. And this growth, future growth will come with modernized technology, modern technology, which is suited for the small dairy farm. That is the more important. It should suit to the small dairy farmers, and for that our extension is required. Our linkages between farmers and institution is required. If we say that the future dairy growth will come for the eastern part of the country, then eastern part of the country's dairy sector hinges on these 5-6 points. Supporting smallholder dairy farmers with good milk animal. Can we provide good milk animal to small dairy farmers, so that means they can also grow along with the national average? Promoting the sector in newer areas, for example, value-added dairy products. Bihar is doing good in value-added products, but can it go to the Jharkhand, Odisha also? Creating and modernizing the dairy infrastructure, that is the need of the day, because I have very detailed data that most of the plants are very old, they are not energy efficient, and it means all problem you can see. Let us bridge the gap between demand and availability of the fodder, between demand and availability of the cement doses, and let us train the technician. As I said, that I have seen from my eyes that in Jharkhand they are carrying the straw of frozen cement in the pocket, and they are going from one farmer's door to another farmer's door for insemination. And then let us give the technology to facelift this sector in the eastern part of the country. Friends, now time is ripe to take the dairy cart of eastern India forward on the fast lane. So this is the best time when we can take this dairy cart on the fast lane. Thank you very much for your patience hearing, and now we can discuss all this issue. Thank you very much. Thank you.